everybody, welcome back to another 3D Hangout. I'm Noed, designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week, Mr. Pedrock.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Rez, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we want to share 3D printing projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. It is Wednesday, we usually stream on Thursday, but it's the time of year where things get a little busy and schedules start conflicting. So instead of not doing a show this week, we figured we'd do it a day early. So it is Wednesday, but we still have a coupon code for Thursday. It's Go FPV this week.
Wait, that'll be tomorrow, though.
That's what I said. I said tomorrow.
Sorry, I'm looking at
stuff
going on over here.
You are making sure that the car isn't crashing. But guess what? GoPro Session is this week's hero of the project. Not the hero, but the GoPro Session. Pedro, why don't you tell us about the project while I look at the guide that you put together for us? This looks cool.
Yeah, so last by that super cool video that came out.
Yeah, the five mad movie makers on YouTube. They do quite a few marble runs, and I want to say they pioneered awesome. the GoPro HotWheels FPV.
They do very awesome like stunts and tricks, and seeing that first-person view is pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. Inspired us to do similar. But they took like the chassis from original GoPro car.
It looks like they taped it on
and
there.
They taped it on or something. Somehow they hacked it together. This is completely 3D printed. The wheels, the chassis, even the axles are pieces of filament. But this is cool. This is a great example of using NinjaFlex where it really works here. It adds protection to the GoPro, and it makes it easy to pop it in and reuse it as a regular GoPro.
Exactly,
the GoPro is pretty strong, but it's nice to have that extra protection.
No, I've seen a lot of broken little sessions when people do FPV flying with drones.
Right.
So when Phil sent this over, it made me a little cringy, like, oh no, we're gonna break our GoPro. So I figured we'd try it out in NinjaFlex.
Is this a solderless project? I see a soldering iron here. What's this about?
Actually, no, you can use any heating element or a lighter to create the rivets on the ends.
Right. So this is a great method
the wheels in place.
of creating small rivets instead of having.
You don't want to use the tip of a soldering iron. You want to use the heating element.
Yes. 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 All right, so
super simple little guide there you can check out to build the axle and the body for this. And if we go over to the overhead, we showed this off last week, completely 3D printed. All the wheels and the axle is a piece of filament. And you could also take the same design, just delete the little T slots there, and just have a simple little bumper.
Yep.
So all of the little button and the screen all line up, and it just pushes right in. The one thing that I have to note again, this is particularly for flexible material, so a rigid like ABS or PLA will not work for this. So if we jump into the guide,
the
CAD file,
Fusion, here we go.
Let's see how good it is on our new system here running.
There it is. Okay, so you get two pieces here. Looks like we have the standalone GoPro mount here. Yeah,
which is pretty much just a duplicate of the one over with the T slot in there. So that's just a duplicate. There will be no nothing in the timeline will.
It is friction fit, so that there's no extra geometries for like clipping it in place because it's there's two openings, one for the LCD and one for the actual camera trigger button, shutter button.
So one of the concerns I had was, oh no, is this bridge going to sort of flop over when you're printing, because there's no supports required when printing this, but with NinjaFlex, it can droop a little bit down, so I did compensate for that and made the opening for the OLED display a little bit bigger, just so that when it droops down, it compensates for that.
Good, good.
And if you want to update this to work with PLA or ABS, which I'm probably going to have to recommend PLA PHA if you don't have the ability to print in ABS. Because if you're like out in the hot sun or when you're doing stunts, it can break. So if you jump into the sketch that's controlling the body of this, you just have to update this probably to 32 or 33 maybe on each side, and everything is constrained, so it'll all update.
Cool. And then if you want as a thicker, if you want it to be thicker, you can adjust the
shell operation
so
for
the
that.
shell over here dictates how thick it is.
So because this is with the flexible material, this actually only prints 2 parameters.
2 parameters. It's really thin.
Yeah, it's really thin, but offers a lot of protection when we were rolling down all those steep hills, bouncing onto concrete. Nothing ever broke on there.
Right, and then this is thicker here.
Yes,
the front face is a little bit thicker.
Millimeter, yeah, because you are going to be facing forward, and it will offer a nice bit of protection when it hits any concrete, bounces around.
There's the chassis, which is right this part over here. It actually has a little bit of a clearance gap here for the T slot.
Yeah.
It's 0.2.
I believe it's 0.2.
Yeah, it's 0.2. And
we're mixing, the rigid materials there, PLA, PHA, and Ninja Flex is. It tends to expand a little bit. So one of the tips for printing in Ninja Flex, which I always have to say, if you're having problems with it buckling, make sure that the bed is leveled just a little bit looser. You don't want to have it too tight for when you're printing in Ninja Flex.
Cool. Now the wheels are a little bit special.
So we took a couple of different iterations to design the wheels and make sure that they spun. For a nice long period of time. So there's these little protrusions that keep the wheels away from the walls of the
chassis.
The chassis, and away from the main body of the mount.
So it gives the wheel a free, kind of a degree of freedom, so that it can spin without this rubbing up against this surface here.
Yeah, that was one of the problems we were having.
Another one is that these chamfers really help flatten out the actual surface so that it actually spins when it's rolling down a surface. So that was important to have. And the holes themselves are actually a little bit bigger than 1.75 millimeters. And you got to have a little bit of, actually a lot of it. It's 2.6 millimeter diameter.
Yeah, so we're using a 1.75 millimeter diameter.
Right, so if you want to use something different, like 3, you just make a bigger hole.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to update this. If you click on this wall right here, this one right here, you're going to have to expand that out because the bigger filament might collide with that and might make the walls a little bit too thin. So you are going to have to update that, and you are going to have to move the cylinder that's cutting that out. A little bit
this
more
prints
down.
Like this face, right? So this prints vertically. So the face I'm selecting is actually the bottom where it touches the bed, correct?
Yeah. So we're printing upwards like that.
None of this requires any supports, which is kind of amazing. At least for these overhangs.
Yeah.
Again, Ninja Flex is able to do it just fine.
Yep. So this, if you click on that right there, that'll be the face and where you lay it on the bed to print.
Cool.
Upwards like that. We have a little bit of a lip on the bottom for the back here, so it adds a little bit of protection if you want to roll it down the opposite way. You do have this lip here that's going to protect it. Did a really good job of that. And then what else? 240C to maintain flow when you're printing.
You have some settings over here in the guide, so if you guys ever want to reference it, go ahead and do so over here. You also have some profiles for Simplified 3D. If you guys have any of the machines that we carry in the shop.
Another thing that I did do is I used the 0.6 millimeter nozzle. So because there's no detail on the axle body for this.
Oh, for the chassis.
There's
you can't.
There's no need
change
to
the nozzle on this guy.
Oh no, I used the Ultimaker.
All right.
2+ to change the nozzle on that. If we would jump over to the chat room, people are asking or saying that they've never heard of PLA PHA.
PLA PHA is a blend of PLA that has some additive to it that makes it a little bit more flexible and a little bit more soft, but it can withstand stress a bit more. So there's a video on
if you go to the product page, it's there too. He does a bunch of stress tests on it, and one of them is trying to bend it. And it's not as brittle as regular PLA. It usually just breaks off. This just sort of bends with it and distorts instead of completely snapping off.
Right. So and it can be sanded down pretty good as well. So we got quite a bit.
It is a little bit more difficult to print with, though. You do have to up the temperature on that. Kirby's saying he does not care for PLA PHA.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's so
PLA
it's good
Pro is great, though.
Yeah, PLA PHA is good for stuff that's like this chassis where it's like simple geometry. Any overhangs and stuff, it doesn't do so good.
The detail stuff for PLA PHA is not the greatest.
But here's the video we were talking about where...
I want to play that just so you can see the distortion that's happening on there. Skip a little bit to it. Yeah, right there.
PLA. Here's PHA, yeah. So he's doing like a quick grip test here. You can show when it snaps.
And right here, the actual zip tie is what broke on it, not the PLA.
So here's, test piece, 100% infill. Again, this is very, very simple geometry, but if you need something that's strong, you don't want the ache and the hassle of ABS or nylon, PLA PHA might be good.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everything, but for mechanical properties like when you'd rather have the part bend instead of break into a million pieces, it's definitely has its place.
28 pounds of load.
So it's really good for that.
PHA.
Again, not super great for details. It can be a little bit more stringy. You do have to print hotter.
Yeah, you do have to print hotter. Okay.
Sergio is asking, how did we make the wheels not fall off of the axis? Friction? So if we jump over to the learning guide, you can see...
yeah, let's do that. The rivets, man.
The rivets.
Yeah. So what you do is you heat up the tip of the filament, and then you create this... You create this rivet here. Can you see that? You see how it's a little bit thicker? It has like a head, kind of like a screw head.
Yeah, so you can either use a lighter and something flat to push that up against while it's still
let's show it
like
on
the
the
melting
too.
point.
I'll do some focusing challenges here. So you can go
see how that stays in there like that.
Closer, please, like all as close as you can until it's in focus. There you go.
There you go.
Let's take a look
so
at
all you're
that.
doing is sort of just smashing that in there so it can't fall off, like just heating it up.
Right, close up.
Like we were saying before, it spins for quite a while. Really cool. So it did take quite a while to figure out what geometries the wheels would need to keep spinning like that, because the first couple of tries it did not roll as far as a
no, it would just kind of slide. It wouldn't. The wheels wouldn't rotate.
And now it actually slides a little bit further than some of the cars.
Yeah, the weight and the momentum of the session really makes it a little bit better. All right, so if you guys haven't seen it, check out this week's project. Had a lot of fun shooting it. We only shot it in like an hour or so. We only visited the park once, and we were able to get everything we needed to. During the shoot, it was a little disappointing because we did try a lot of different places, specifically like the playground. I wanted to get this down a slide.
It was too steep,
but I didn't bring any, extra platforms to really level out the tracks, because the Hot Wheel tracks are, they're ABS and they're very kind of flexible.
Yeah, especially on grass. If there was any humps or bumps, it would.
It was very hard. A lot of trial and error, but the spots that we did find were excellent. So this is a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen the video, check it out. This is a lot of fun. I keep saying.
Oh, Ryder's saying no shout-outs. Let's go shout out the chat room
Shout-outs. Everybody gets a shout-out. Ryder gets a shout-out. Kirby gets a shout-out.
Oh, Simon's in the house.
Simon is in the house. Jared.
Jared.
What's up, man?
John Santiago.
We're just going to name everybody in the chat room.
Sergio.
T-Smile.
Jared.
T-Long. Okay, some of your usernames I can't read.
I know. The person asking about the Ultimaker 3. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Man, the Ultimaker 3. We will have more stuff about it next week. We're doing a really long print right now using PVA. It's probably the biggest print that we've done that has PVA supports. We're gonna have to buy like a fish tank, like an aquarium, to see this thing dissolve in water. It's a pretty big print. It's like that big.
Brandon is saying that the Hot Wheel tracks look different than he remembered.
Yeah, they're updated. They got updated in 2014 or 15. They have this new mechanism to lock and slide in. It's a little bit easier to install too. It said on the box. It said, "Hey, new track." Yeah, they're a little bit newer these days. Cool. You're doing it right, David Smith.
Oh, and then somebody in the, I think the YouTube chat was saying, oh, maybe one of the edits that we would need is rotating it 90 degrees so you get like a cool slider shot.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that would look cool. So it would like mount this way, so you can have it going back and forth like that.
That'd be cool.
So if anybody wants to do that update,
I would say just make just add a tripod hole in here so that we can have a 1/4-20 coming out here, so you can mount anything like this to it. You know what I mean?
oh, so it's ready to go as soon as you take it off, like a quick release or something?
Yeah, right, but the tripod screws would allow you to move it freely anywhere. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Brandon's saying, take it outside and blast it with a hose. That'd be cool. Another cool thing
to make it propel?
Yeah, so one of the things we wanted to do was roll it off of a dock so it could go into a lake.
Yeah, and then fish it out with the
Yeah,
fishing string.
so adding like a little loop right here would be cool, like so you could attach 2 fishing string. I was just gonna like tie it all the way through here and have it out here.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to fully test it though.
Or because the sessions actually have a little place for a loop right here, maybe just cut out one of the pieces so you have access to a little loop thing right here where you could add one of the, it's like a, what is it, like a strap you can attach to there, so it has like little holes for that. So yeah, maybe just add a little hole right there. You can just cut it out with some scissors or something.
Yep, poke holes.
Those are some cool little edits, designs you guys can do. And if you print this out and have some really cool FPV of going down a track, because that's one of the things we didn't have time to, like building like elaborate little stunts and like track courses for this.
Yep, I like Steve's comment here. Thanks for the comment. You just have to make sure to balance out the load. That is important to make sure that it can actually run freely down the track.
Yep. That's the reason actually why I had to split this up into 2 pieces, because originally this was all one piece with the axle going through the body of the main case, but that would just flop over every time we would try to do something even remotely that was inclined. So we had to do that.
Brendan was rephrasing. He's mentioning to blast PVA off your print with a hose.
Oh, well, we kind of, I want to do a time lapse of it dissolving, so.
Right, and it takes a little bit to dissolve, so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's this week's project. Hopefully you guys like that. It's always fun working on something that's, doesn't require circuits, or it's, a little bit more fun to do, like it's like sort of like in the toy sort of
there's a little engineering challenge into it, trial and error, failure here, success here.
Yeah.
It's cool. Different materials. Yeah, it's great. And of course the design is available for you guys. You can download it in any format that you want if you want to take a crack at remixing it or using it in your projects. I think it's just a fun one to do.
For that if you want to pick up any filaments,
printers,
or any of the tools.
Remember, this is tomorrow's coupon code.
Yes, write this down.
Tonight we have a coupon code on Ask Engineer, so tune into that for it.
Yep. And as always, we have free shipping on orders over $200.
That's right. We have this thing called same-day delivery for the fine folks in the Manhattan area in New York. So you can do that, take advantage of that if you ever need it. And lastly, Adafruit Daily. That's our daily dose of newsletter stuff. You have to opt into it, so go to adafruitdaily.com for that. All right, we took a look at this week's project. Now we're going to take a look at a couple weeks from now. Future projects. We got something new in the shop. It is a spy camera, a $12 little camera. So you probably saw this was last week's product. One of the new products from last week. So it is a little spy camera. It is really very like basic camera. So it can do 480p video, and it can do 1280 by 1280 by 960 photos. So it's not going to be the most high resolution camera. I mean, it's only $12, but this is great for any spy related type projects. There's a great time. Is it not loading? Here's a time lapse here that somebody at the office put together. I think it was James, right? So what I did was I made an enclosure for it. There it is. So inside this little 2-piece enclosure is the $12 spy camera module, a $7 trinket, a 100 milliamp battery, a LiPo charger so you can recharge the battery, a slide switch, a button. The camera module has a micro SD card slot so that it can record onto SD media. And it's very, very basic. It only has 3 wires, power, ground, and then the shutter button. So whenever you tie the shutter button to ground, you take a photo, and if you hold it down for 3 seconds, you take a video. It's blinking right now because I don't have an SD card in there. So let me just turn it off. All the Trinket is doing is doing a digital write with a delay, so it's essentially doing a time-lapse interval every whatever seconds you want. And we wanted to make this for Todd Treese, who is our software developer, who works on Adafruit.io. He has a lot of dogs, like big dogs, and he wanted to kind of do a dog cam. So I was like, yeah, let me make a quick little enclosure for you. And what I ended up doing was making a little GoPro knuckle so that it can attach to all sorts of GoPro accessories. So it's ready to go. The orientation is a little bit off, or a little bit, you know, it's in vertical this way. So what does it actually look like? Did I add it here? I don't think I added it. Yeah, I did, right here. Woo, new screen. A little bit different, but whatever. So here's a little time lapse I did real quick with an interval of like 5 seconds or 10 seconds for like about a half an hour or so. So just the clouds going in. Yeah, very, very small and compact. The quality is not the best, but for like
as small as it is,
I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, for the price and things. Mm-hmm. It's not too bad, right?
Yeah, and the video comes out at 640 by 480.
Yeah, and then the photos are 1280 by 960. So you're better off doing a time lapse. So definitely good for time lapse. We'll have a guide for this very soon, but that's the project. And if anybody wants to make a project for it, you guys can download the component that I have. So where's the bodies? Here's the components. Let me.
David Smith is asking, do you know how close the focus of this is?
I actually do not know. That's a good question, though.
Because he's saying it would be pretty cool to mount to like extruder for a cool new view of time lapses.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Because you wouldn't need the battery; you just plug it into the wall.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like that.
Good point, David.
Good point.
There is a data sheet for this, so it might say what the focus.
So here's the quick model. It has all the basic components that you need. So this little piece is actually the microphone. So it kind of mounts to the PCB like that. It comes with it. You don't add this. It's already there. There's this strange USB adapter connector. It comes with the USB cable. I don't ever need it because the SD card is, you just pop it out and read it through a card reader. There's 2 chips on the bottom just for clearance sake. And then the camera module itself looks like that. And there's a little sticky backing on the back here, but I didn't need it for the enclosure. So kind of interesting thing about this is that the way to mount it to an enclosure is a little bit difficult because the mounting holes that it does have are very, very small. I don't have any hardware screws that work with it.
M1s or something?
Yeah, but if we look at the enclosure, you can see how I was able to mount it. So I have like these little platform things that elevate the PCB, and then they have these little edges that come up that hold the edges of the PCB in place. And then there's like this little elevator here that keeps the camera module, the iris, I guess I can call it, in place there. And all the little proper cutouts and stuff. And then the top part of the enclosure holds it down with this little lip here. This kind of keeps it in place so it doesn't move at all. So you can plug in a connector and it can take a lot of force and it stays in place. It doesn't wiggle around. There's no wiggle room in there. So we get rid of the, if I hide the module, you can see there's just these little platform things here. And they're really, really small. They're like, I don't know, 1.5 millimeters or so thick. So it's very, very tight inside here. It was very, very little room for excess wiring. So you gotta be careful, at least for this project, when you're wiring everything. So again, everything in here, there's a Trinket over here. It does need 2 mounting holes or mounting screws. So I have mounted just these 2 in the front and nothing in the back. And then the battery, it's a 105 milliamp battery, or is it 110? I think it's 110.
And here is a no, it's actually 100.
105?
It's 100, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then the LiPo backpack is for the Pro Trinket, but it also works with the regular Trinket. So that is right there. That just gives you the charging capability, so you can charge this battery without having to take it out of the enclosure. We got a trigger button over here. This is one of the 6 millimeter slim buttons. That one, when you hold it down for 3 seconds, it'll record video. When you press it once, it'll initiate the time lapse from the trinket. And then, yeah, just 3 wires from the camera module and a on and off switch that connects to the LiPo backpack for the trinket. And then there's 2 little standoffs here to mount the case to the cover, and that's the whole assembly here. And there's the GoPro knuckle, really, really simple. You just glue it on the back. If you don't want that, you just don't print it. Yep. So there's a little bit of a weird oddity here with the way I was doing measurements, so I ended up updating the case before updating the component, so that's why the component looks a little bit offsetted, so I'll need to fix that. But if you guys want it now, you can check it out. I'll have the link for this below, and we'll have it more in stock. We have about quite a few in stock, or on order.
On order, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Pedro grabbed it. So here's what it looks like.
So real quick, Jared is asking if there's space to drill out holes for a larger diameter. There is not any space anymore, and you're gonna run right into
it's on the edge.
The pads,
on
yeah.
The edge. Yeah, go flip it over.
Like this
so you
right
can see all the components. Yeah, I wouldn't want to break any traces. So.
Oh no, it is like.
There's barely any room.
They shouldn't even add any. Oh, this one's.
Yeah, these are for like
tiny
watch screws. Like I just don't have the screws, so
yeah.
The thing is that you could just make little clip things that hold it in place, like I did. So
this one, like the one right by the microphone, right here. It's like just got a tiny bit.
You can't even see the material. It's so thin.
It's like super.
It's a little bite mark. It's a mouse bite.
That was definitely the best way to mount this, with the little friction with the walls there. Who's asking something about the temperature for Ninja Flex? Have we tried this on the MakerBot printer? So on the Replicator 2 for printing Ninja Flex parts.
Replicator 2, not the 5 gen or 6 gen or whatever.
Or the 2X, yeah.
It's the original MK8
the one
style.
Right there. It works awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it works great. It's one of the best Ninja Flexers.
No modifications. We actually have to print faster.
On some, yeah, like this unicorn is printed at 90/150.
So that's 90 millimeters a second, 150 for the travel speed.
Yep.
I think for these, I might have to print like at 60 millimeters a second. And that's with no modifications out of that. Robert is asking, does the camera module record audio? Yes.
Yes, it does. It does. It's terrible audio, but it does.
Yeah. There's a little mic right there. So, yep.
It's a keychain like camera module. Like, you ever see those very small miniature keychain cameras? It's basically what it is.
It was WCHS Engineering. Yes, he has a Rep 2. Yep. I would have printed it on that one, but it was printing other parts. So I printed it on the Type A machines, which had to print at 40 millimeters a second, just a little bit slower on that one. But it came out pretty good.
Cool. All right. Well, that's what I'm prototyping. I got some other stuff in the background, but we'll cover those in the further.
Comment from Steve saying to use the solar panel so you don't have to worry about a battery. That's be a nice addition to that. If you're doing it like a lot
it'll charge whenever it can.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's great.
Can the Ultimaker 3 print Ninja Flex?
A certain type of Ninja Flex.
The Cheetah, yeah.
Yeah, so it has a
95U for the shore hardness.
I believe so, 95A for the shore hardness.
Now, I have not tried it, and I did see on their product page that they are working on a print core that lets you print in
Super, like 85A? Sure?
No, just regular TPU filament. So I don't know if that means that these print cores are compatible with printing in Cheetah, but I've not tried it yet.
Okay, but if they come, Ultimaker has their own brand of TPU.
It's just Cheetah. Yeah.
It's just Cheetah.
I mean, it's the same
It's
formula.
just Cheetah. They just slapped their name on it. No, they probably have a manufacturer that makes it for them. Okay.
But no, I have not actually tried it to confirm that, it does print.
We'll do some testing then. All right, moving on. Let's do some shop talk. We got some new, again, going on the new products. We got this new Feather Wing. It's, where's the web? There's the web. So this is a new Feather Wing. It is a 2.4 inch TFT display for the feather boards. So if I go back to the web, you can look at it. Here we go. So this is a 320 by 240 touchscreen. It has a resistive touch display. It works with all the feather footprints. So the 32.4, the M0s, the Huzzah, all of them work just fine with it. It uses our Adafruit GFX library. It connects over SPI connection. And I figured I'd do a little project with it, a quick thing. So what I have here is I made a little test mount with all the new products that we make. I tend to model them up and then make like a little test mount. So this is just a little 3D printed mount that has these little standoffs that connect into the mounting holes. There's 4 mounting holes on the edges here, on the corners. And right now I'm just running one of the example sketches that loads a bitmap off of the SD card. So we have an SD card right here, SD card reader here, and we have a switch, an on-off switch, and a button. So really basic controls. And then what I plan to do with this project is probably make it into some sort of like cool looking monitor display. So I'm thinking like a retro tech, and maybe it'll act as a weather or a calendar
Have you posted
display.
what you've already made with it?
Huh?
Or is that still
Have I posted
secret?
what I've made with it?
Yeah. Oh no, it's completely different. Okay, never mind.
Wow, yeah. I'm like, wow, you're paying attention. So that's basically all I got going on here. Yeah, so if you guys want the 3D model you want to start using in your projects, I'll have the link down below of the module or the component that I made for it. It's really simple. I just took the measurements from the EagleCAD file that's available on GitHub as well. So in the back here you have the 2 female headers. Yeah, headers. We have on the side here, we have the micro SD card, we have the slide switch, and the little push button. The mount itself is this guy over here. Not much to it. It's just this piece. There is a little bit of consideration with the actual glass and display. It kind of intersects a little bit close to the mounting hole, so I had to kind of cut these standoffs a little bit short, like these edges here are highlighted, to show you how you need to accommodate for the glass itself, the screen. And then the viewport is like, I nailed it spot on, which is great. It's like, I nailed it really well. But with most displays, you have this sort of asymmetrical padding. So you got like this padding over here, and then on this side over here, there's a little bit more padding. So if you're making an enclosure, you want it to be centered, just accommodate for that and keep note of that. So that's it, really. We sold out of them. We'll have more in stock. It's a $30 product. And where's my thing? So that's the design real quick. Prints in like 10 seconds to mount anyway. Where is my web? There's the web. All right, cool. So yeah. Yeah, and does it support larger SD cards? No, this is a micro SD card. I think you support whatever class. Yeah.
So I think that question actually came in when we were talking about the camera module.
Oh.
So I'm guessing you're talking about a higher capacity
Yeah, I think
SD card. I tried. It does not.
It
We
doesn't
have
like-
class 10 micro SD cards.
Doesn't work.
And there's a little LED on there that just flashes like
Yeah, it tells it flashes.
indicator.
Mhm.
And when I stuck it in, it just kept flashing like
It just doesn't
wouldn't
read class 10 then.
Yeah,
So
so you got to
gotta
do like
that.
a
It's a great
class
question
4, I
because
think.
it's very technical these days. Like you get an SD card, it's like 64 gigs, and you expect it to work.
No,
on
you got to look at the class of the card that it is. So yeah, on the class 4 is would work perfectly, and it's what's in the camera right now that he did all the time lapses for.
Constantine, is that his name? Constantine is asking what 3D modeling software. Yes, that is Fusion 360. I'll have a link for it down below. We have a download link that you guys can get. It's free for any hobbyist, really.
Uprighter real quick was asking, would we recommend the Ultimaker 3 if you really need to do dual extrusion with like PVA
Yeah.
or just color, different multicolor stuff?
Right.
And it's pretty good. There's also cheaper options like the Sigma.
That can do dual
printer.
extrusion and PVA as well, but maybe not as high quality. But yeah.
And if you need different nozzle sizes, They still have not released their print cores for that, so I'd probably recommend the Ultimaker 2 Plus.
Okay.
So you can swap out the nozzles if you need to use larger
the 2 versus the 3,
resolutions.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Oh, he's leaving. We'll see you later, Ryder. Okie dokie.
I was asking, for both camera and displays, does this work with a higher capacity?
I don't know. That's a good question. We'll try it out. This is a 4 gig right now, so I'm thinking that's a lower class.
I think there's the 4 class, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll try
Yep,
it out and report back.
There's probably a data sheet somewhere that tells you.
Specs.
It'll be in there somewhere. All right, cool. If you want to pick that stuff up once it is in stock,
you can actually click on the Notify Me button
that's right.
that is on all the product pages when they're sold out.
Yeah, right
Type
here.
in your name, email,
and
you get notified.
Cool. All right. That's Shopbot. Can you look at the notes real quick? Anything else I got? I think community makes, and that's it, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's jump into the community makes, folks. Got some quick ones. First one. Hey, you guys know about this one. We were trying to get our hands on one. I couldn't get one. Like, they all sold out locally in our GameStop.
Looks like we had to wake up early in the morning
Best
and get in
Buy
line.
was sold out. Target was sold out. Amazon, I couldn't click fast enough. So everybody's trying to get this. We got a blog post up on the Adafruit blog that talks about how to hack it and stuff. We want to do some projects with it, but since nobody can get it right now and it's kind of limited, why not make one yourself? So there's a lot of NES Raspberry Pi cases on Thingiverse and other sites, but this one's got to be like my favorite one because it took it to the next level. So this is by Daft Mike.
This one with the NFC.
Yeah, so this has actual little, the way to play the games, you actually have to insert a little 3D printed cartridge that has an embedded NFC chip. And that's how it reads the game. That's how it loads the games, yeah. The buttons in the front actually work, the handles here actually work, and there's a guide, and he's starting to sell kits, I believe, Mike. So check out his blog. I'll have it linked in the description. But he's been making a lot of progress with this, improving on it, making a separate app for it. Well, not really a separate app. It's using the NFC Tools Pro, so that you can
very handy.
Yeah,
very handy.
launch the games. So there's the NFC tag in there, and this thing's awesome. So
yeah, Brandon is commenting on can't believe the limited stock they released.
Yeah,
only benefits makers or can promote, making with a Raspberry Pi.
That's
So
right.
there's always like the good side of things.
But again, there's a lot of different ones. Maybe you want to make your own. I like how he used one of my layer by layer tutorials on how to make these like click and place lips, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
There's the inside of it. It looks pretty neat and clean as far as I can see it. And he's got the whole list of instructions on how to build it, all the software and stuff as well. So a very great project to take on.
Super clean.
For the holidays, it's been an excellent gift for the folks who can't get one and this play every single game and not just NES, SNES and the like. So great stuff. Huge shout out to Mike for putting that together. And yeah, I think it's a great project. Probably one of my favorite NES projects out there.
I like that the lid actually opens up.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
unlike the
huge. That's the huge part about it is to have actual cartridges that insert and serve function. Really, really cool. Okay, so the next project I want to talk about. This one was sent to us. If you guys want to send us a project, you can do so by emailing support@adafruit.com. So Garage Monkey Son in Instructables put together this 3D printed project. It's using an Adafruit LiPo charger and a massive battery here, one of the Samsung batteries here for charging his
I just gotta say,
Galaxy Note 4.
kind of.
Is that scary? The Samsung battery?
The name,
yeah, kind of scares you now.
Yeah.
He made this in Fusion 360, so you can download the STLs if you want to print it out yourself. And yeah, it's a really cool, simple project. I like it. Okay. Next one is, I just kind of found out this, if you guys are looking for more 3D modeling content, specifically for Autodesk Fusion 360, check out Lars on YouTube. He's got a lot of great content. it really breaks down a lot of the fundamentals and concepts that go with Fusion 360, learning it. So if we're very, very new to it, I definitely recommend checking out his channel. Okay. And yeah. If you guys have any projects you want to share with us, we'll feature it on the blog and on the show. Just email support@adafruit.com, subject titled tip for show or something like that. Good stuff. And
I think that's it for this week.
Nope, we got Q&A. We've been doing Q&A here and there, but hey, if you guys have any specific questions, anything we talked about, anything, go ahead. We have the remainder of the show to chat with you guys.
So Brandon is commenting, saying he's waiting for controllers for the Raspberry Pi Zero RetroPie to come back in stock.
Oh yeah, the SNES controllers? Really? Was there out of stock?
He didn't say SNES, he just said controllers to be available for Raspberry Pi Zero, RetroPie controllers.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Barry is asking, is it necessary to store filaments in a dry box?
It depends where you live, in the environment that you're in. Our area here is always cooled down to 70 degrees or so, and there's no moisture really inside this area, so we kind of get away from it. We have lots of filament that's out in the open. We also have a filter, HEPA filters that are running as well, all in the backgrounds here. And they keep it dust free, so we don't have to worry about that. But in some areas, you might want to maybe
if you do have those
humid
problems,
area, you might want to create yourself a nice storage solution. There's lots of great projects out there on YouTube and Instructables, and even Thingiverse that talk about that. So it's only necessary depending on your location and your location. Cool.
I want to say that is all.
That is all. Here. Thank you for joining us on Wednesday. We know it's not Thursday, but we figured we'd do the show anyway. I don't want to do pre-recorded because we get a chance here to interact with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, he's saying the classic NES controllers.
Oh yeah.
We have the SNES one. I don't think we have any classic ones.
I don't have a classic. Oh, maybe in stock and somewhere else, like on Amazon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we only carry
the SNES
the SNES one, so you can hack that and stuff. We have quite a few different projects for that. Cool. If you want anything again, tomorrow we got a coupon code. Tonight we got a coupon code. I hope to see you guys in Show and Tell. We'll be talking about our GoPro camera tonight on the Show and Tell, which is on youtube.com/Adafruit. It's on Periscope. Is it on Periscope too?
It's everywhere, yeah.
Maybe everywhere.
So that's
7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then after that, full hour of Lamar and Phil at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Good stuff.
Forget to like, comment.
Yeah, if you like this video, you like what we're doing, and if you want to support us, you can also support your maker habit by getting some Arduinos, some Pis, some filament.
Remember, this code is for tomorrow.
Yep.
The codes for tonight will be released at 8 o'clock.
8
o'clock. So stay tuned for that. And it'll be on Twitter and all that. So
we'll see you guys next week as well. But yeah, until then, keep on making, guys. Thank you guys again. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Unicorn. Bye, everybody.